On this episode of Screen Geeks, we're going to talk about the new Suicide Squad movie and What If? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, on this journey of screen geekery is my good friend Ralph. Ralph, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm on a new computer, if you can tell.
I can tell you got that new iMac camera. It's looking real fresh.
Toss the light out. I don't have to do anything.
You look great. You look. If I hadn't just bought this Mac Mini a year and a half ago or something, I would definitely be getting or trying to get one of those new iMacs. But anyways, we are here tonight to talk some movies and TV. It's been a minute since we haven't talked about a Motu or a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
And as such, the YouTube algorithm has not shown it to anybody, but thank you to those that are here. We've got Dartherian, Space Cowboy. We also have John Rhodes in the house. Nick Dillinger is here. And Silent Heroes, a.k.a. my dear friend Ryan. And I think that's it. It's a more intimate setting tonight to talk about these two shows. Yes, go ahead, Ralph.
A little bit. Can I just say I'm glad?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's something that Jay and I were talking about behind the scenes a little bit, and I just want to send my appreciation to all of the regulars who show up here when we show up and join in the chat and are very positive. A lot of people did show up for the Motu talk. The comments after the fact, not great.
Oh, no.
Not great. I think they were seeking out anyone who had a positive take on Motu.
Oh man, they did.
But I just want to say to all the regulars that show up here every week that we're on, thank you very much. You guys are awesome, and it seems like it's usually the live comments. Every once in a while, you might get the little squirrely thing in there, but to everybody else, thanks so much for being positive and having fun with us and coming on here live every week that we decide to show up. But yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, we've kind of made a policy now of like only doing a Screen Geeks if there's something we want to talk about versus just doing it to do it. And really excited this week because a couple of things did drop that really excited to talk about. Mr. Bear,
Right.
I don't know if you were here last week or 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago
when he shaved. So this is 2 weeks of growth for you, Ralph.
Yeah, exactly 2 weeks. Like I shaved, bicked it with a straight edge, like a razor, right before recording our last episode. So, and then
Jamie Vaughn is watching, just hasn't chatted anything. Love the show, love the positivity. Yeah,
Thanks.
It is kind of funny post, and they must have found or saw this thing posted up again because we started the show with 2 dislikes, which is like, come on, we haven't started the show yet.
Maybe because we started late.
No, it was there. I checked at like 8:00 and there was 2 dislikes before we even had likes. So whatever, it's fine.
One for each of us.
Yeah, exactly.
There was something mentioned in the comments that I do want to bring up, and someone was complaining to you saying that you should have a co-host on that isn't an echo chamber.
Yes,
like that we should always, like, we're always agreeing, but like to them I say, go listen to WandaVision, go listen to, or go Clone Wars. I would say Clone Wars, maybe.
Yeah, we definitely have different takes on Clone.
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other for 16 years.
16 years, yeah.
Yeah. We have similar tastes. There's a reason why we're friends. And although I know that podcasting kind of isn't as fun when everybody's all in agreement and it's just a big gush fest, but I just want to say again, I love the positivity. I'm totally cool with that.
Agreed. And I think it was obvious, I saw anybody had a positive video about Motu Revelation, like Jay just got hit real hard.
Yeah.
And
then this is the last thing I'll bring up.
Okay.
This is the very last thing. This I took very personal. During that episode, I wore a red t-shirt with a yellow bolt on it. A lot of people called it the Flash. That's fine. It was actually based on Michael Allred's character, Madman, who's a very cool.
It was Shazam. I didn't see the rest of the.
Yeah, if you see the dot at the bottom, but you know, if it's only seeing this much of the shirt,
yeah.
But the one that hit me the hardest was someone called me the guy with the Bazinga shirt, and that does not fly. That does not fly with me. So that's all. That's all.
Oh man. A lot of cool stuff on the channel. Most recently, I did a video, a little hyperbolic. Is Kenner Classics canceled? And I asked my wife, Colleen, I was like, is this a little much? Is this extra, as the kids say? And she was like, yeah, but you know, it's how you feel.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So this is Screen Geeks.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people come to the channel for the toy reviews and Toy Geeks, and I know I'm not John and all that good stuff. So I'm not really clued in on the toys as much as you guys. But we try to catch Toy Geeks whenever we can. And then I watch every single one of your posts on YouTube.
Okay.
And a lot of times I watch it with my wife, Stevie, and we were watching that last night, I believe, or this morning. We watched this, and like Ghostbusters the film was part of my childhood, and I don't think has any interest in Ghostbusters the toy, but we were both devastated. We saw this video. She literally said, "Oh no, that's horrible." We felt so bad because we follow you, and and our last show was all about how great Ghostbusters is back, and then it's they just pulled the rug out from under you. Kind of reminds me of this guy.
Yeah, my hope is, it's kind of one of those things where like, should I do a video about this? Because it's just like, I don't know for sure, but it very much seems like it, because these.
The thing is, it could be one of those things where you're like, oh, maybe they want to put the figures out when they release the Ecto 1. And maybe they're going to wait till closer to the release of the film, but then why put the current toys on clearance?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe because they want to go exclusively through Target, but the last trailer I saw, that Terror Dog did not come out of a Target.
I know.
It came out of a Walmart.
I know.
So I'm like, something's up.
Exactly. Like, that was the other part. Like, even Colleen was like, well, wait a second. Walmart's featured pretty heavily in the movie from what we've seen from the clips.
Right.
So why is there no Ghostbuster stuff at Walmart? And I was like, I don't know. Where is it? Here we go. Dartherian Jay screams out Vader. Now let's see. Let's put this back up. And it is very much here we go.
Okay, so and then one more toy thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to include more toys so people don't get mad at me. I got this week, and I'm not a Funko Pop dude. But anytime they release something Green Lantern related, I get it.
Yep.
This is a Hot Topic exclusive that came. It's a con exclusive, but they had the retail version at Hot Topic as well. But I got a White Lantern Sinestro.
Oh, cool.
He's pretty cool. The only problem is Funko's never released a Yellow Lantern Sinestro, which is this is from like 5 panels 11 years ago.
How have they not done a yellow Sinestro? That's crazy.
That's the question.
I like Green Lantern. I'm not a huge fan. I know that's like arguably the most essential Sinestro, right?
Yeah. Or the classic blue and black.
You're right. Blue and black.
My notifications should be turned off, but I just got a text message from Fetz, who joins regularly. He might even be in the room.
He is in the room.
So on 11/9/2021 or 2021, there will be a Blu-ray and digital release of Evolution.
Yes, he put it in the chat as well.
I wanted me to make sure I
was going to go to it, but it's just like I knew Fetz, if I brought it up for Ralph, this is all he would talk about all episode. and I was trying to keep them on target.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm good. I've got it all out of my system. I talked about toys.
You did great. You did great.
And I showed a toy.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
And if you mention somebody, I'll break a toy.
But so yeah, I've I stopped working on the review of this beauty right here. So this video, based on just current work that I do for like my real job, so this will probably go up Saturday around noon time. So my review of the Kenner Classics Ecto one should be up on Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. But this thing, just quick review, is awesome. I love it. And the gunner seat is so
bright.
The old gunner seat would move around. Look at this. It's like, it doesn't move at all. It's solid.
Are they getting mad at you for mishandling a toy?
Solid as a rock. Well, I'm trying to show it's very solid.
Every time I show that this is solid, people get angry.
Break it and like make it break it.
It's a squeaky toy. I can't help it.
Anyway. Cat sighting, yes. Is that Vesper?
Oh. I do not know. I did not see him.
Pop act, just when you thought it was safe to be back in the water of Eternia, I got the land shark today. Very nice. Yeah, I've seen land sharks been hitting target pretty hard. They came from behind.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Going too fast. Judy, Shang-Chi stuff has been on clearance, and the movie isn't even out yet either. But they still had Shang-Chi stuff at the Walmart. There was nothing for Ghostbusters at the other thing. So whatever. It's fine. Moving on to more exciting things. So our first, do we interpret what if or what do you want to talk about first?
It's a tough call. I sort of hounded you this week because I'm like, are we going to do a show? Are we going to do a show? I loved them both, dude. I loved them both. And
I'm with you. I guess we're going to agree.
Echo chamber.
Yeah, echo chamber.
Yeah. I don't know. What if is more fresh in my mind? Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's like the. I mean, Marvel DC, like it essentially turned into Stars and Stripe, the Stargirl show. If you've seen Stargirl, yeah. She has her stepdad also has a giant robot suit, and they go around fighting crime. Dude, I loved it, and I loved it so much because I really like Captain America, the First Avenger. Right. Joe Johnston and what he did in that movie and what he did in like Rocketeer, like that era, like superheroes in that era are really fun.
What kind of serial, that movie serial kind of?
Yeah, you know me. I love Flash Gordon. I love those serials. Yep. And just this time period, it's there's no tech. I mean, granted, we get the Hydra Smasher, Hydra Stomper, yeah. But it's using the Tesseract, so it's a little bit more magical. But I just like the sort of like bootstraps and like, you know, like going and actually like getting in there fighting. And the Howling Commandos here are awesome. I liked them in the movie, but the way the story is set up, they're long gone by the time we get Captain America in Avengers. So it was kind of fun to see them again. But Peggy Carter's rad.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, I like Peggy Carter. I think she looks cool. It made me wish this was live action. I'd like to see, like, I mean, I wish, like, this is the kind of thing I would want to see out of Marvel. Let's just go off the rails. Let's do one shots of these Marvel tales. And I like the animation. I like the storytelling, but I just feel like I would watch an hour and a half of this, whether it's like a Disney Plus showcase, or something else. I'd like,
if it's you'd want an hour and a half live action version of this.
Yeah, of this story specifically. I mean, we've been following the story so long that things kind of get muddy. Try to remember, like, oh, what happened in this one? When did we see the first appearance of Thor?
Mm-hmm.
There's all these things that happen. What I like about this is you kind of have to know the knowledge of what you've seen before, but it's a completely different story outside of the main continuity that you could just kick back and enjoy.
Yeah.
And I'll it's going to be something very similar to when I talk about the Suicide Squad. Like, I just like that. I don't want to have to know the last 15 years of Marvel or whatever. I know it all. I've seen it all.
Sure.
But sometimes I just want to kick back and enjoy and not be like, oh, who's that guy again? Like, I know all the characters from this. And it's just nice not being tied to continuity. I found it really enjoyable.
Darth has kind of a different feel here. Immediately, it kept a bit too much to the plot of the movie. That kind of lost its draw for me, feeling that it's not different enough. But I kind of liked that aspect of it because it was just one of those kind of butterfly effect things where just one, small decision kind of changed it. But it's kind of how I've always felt about, the universe, and you can kind of knock it off its access a little bit, but it'll kind of want to pull back to maybe what the fabric of the universe wanted to do anyway. And it was kind of neat how it did follow similarly the plot of the first Avenger, but it did it in a way that was it was fun to see how it all played out and where things deviated and where things kind of stayed the same.
The thing is a lot of us here in the chat and on the show know about What If. We understand the concept of What If. We've read the comics when we were kids, when we're adults. We're all aware of What If. Now, your average Disney Plus subscriber may not understand fully what this show is. So you kind of want to start in with a familiar story and then be like, okay, this is what we're doing. It's going to be different than what you've seen, but it's somewhat similar. I think as the series progresses, maybe it can kind of push the changes and the differentness of it. But I think this was a nice, easy sort of way to ease into what If is about. I thought I was going to continue going the same route as the story when Steve blew off of the train. I said, oh, he's going to become Winter Soldier. Steve's going to become Winter Soldier. And he didn't, which is good. Yeah. But I thought they were going to go more in that direction.
I thought he was going to sacrifice himself again. And that's how they separate. I thought that's how that was going to go down. Especially if the suit wasn't powerful enough. It's like, oh, Steve's just going to sacrifice himself again because that's what Steve does.
Right. Steve Rogers, voiced by Josh Keaton.
Wasn't Chris Evans?
No.
He did a good job because I thought it was Chris Evans.
Well, Josh Keaton just so happens to play Hal Jordan on Green Lantern, the animated series. So I was very excited. He's also played Spider-Man in some animated series too. He's a pretty prolific voice actor. But yeah, the fact that I was like trying to listen for the Hal Jordan in his voice, but I maybe barely caught a glimpse of it. So he's a really talented dude. I thought he did a great job as he was credited as Skinny Steve, which is kind of funny.
Scuba Steve, but
but Scuba Steve's father. Yes, Jeffrey Wright.
I agree. Jeffrey Wright's Watcher was awesome.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I hope that's a character that could be brought into this whole multiverse, into whatever they got going in the future. I know right now in the Batman, he's playing Commissioner Gordon, so he's crossing the streams. That's for your Ghostbusters fans.
I guess he played the Spider-Man in Spectacular Spider-Man, with
Okay.
a very underrated series and a really good theme song. Spectacular Spider-Man. It's good theme song.
Oh yeah.
I know you're gonna always think of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like the best one, but they had a good theme song on that show.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Bradley Whitford as the Jerk Colonel. Absolutely. Big West Wing fan. Love Bradley Whitford, and he was really good as the Jerk.
Because my brain goes to Billy Madison and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh yeah,
but,
of course. You think Bradley Whitford, you think of Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Right. Yeah, he's super good, and it's one of those things where I'm like, can we bring him into live action? Can we just like, I want to see I want to see Captain Carter. I want to see, like, it's great that they're using the voices and the animation. I like the animation. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, it looks kind of creepy, but I really liked it.
Yeah, it had a kind of cell shaded game kind of look to it. Yeah. I thought it looked good. And, I understand, sure, probably much rather have a live action show, but I kind of dug it, sometimes with the animation, you can just do cooler things. And to me, that was no more apparent than the kind of that really cool action sequence where she's jumping plane to plane, and stuff up with her shield.
It was the handle on his back.
Yeah. A really, really, really cool action sequence that I thought was awesome. I was just kind of blown away by it. Similar to the Ahsoka, jumping from the gunner ships, down to it had that kind of feel to it. And I don't think you could pull that off in a live action show because, the beginning of Falcon and Winter Soldier had a similar type aerial action sequence, which was really cool. But this was another level, and I think you could only kind of pull that off in animation. So that's where, to me, yes, there is a drawback to it being animated, but I think it was fun, and it added to this scene right here, especially, it added to that kind of 40s golden era glow. They kind of to, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. This was the only story I was aware of as far as this show goes. So I think there's a T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Yep.
And then that's the only other thing I know about the show. Oh, and I guess there's like a Howard the Duck.
And there's also, that in the trailer. I think there's Spider-Man as Doctor Strange. I think there's a zombie Captain America. There's
like Marvel zombies, like Kirkman's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's cool.
Colleen made an appearance in the chat. Nick Dillinger, while Colleen appears. Geeky Scouser, Geek Dad Life. Do you think Afterlife will get delayed again? I don't think. I mean,
Venom just got delayed.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the Delta variant is ruining everybody's fall plans, but like, I don't know. I'll mask up. I'm doubly vaccinated. I want to see the dang thing. Let's go.
I just found out today that Venom 2 is directed by Andy Serkis.
Wait, what? The new Venom's Andy Serkis?
Yeah, he directed it.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, and the story is by Tom Hardy.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Someone mentioned Andy Serkis on some tweet. I jumped over to IMDb and it said Venom Bring On the Carnage or whatever it's called is directed by Andy Serkis.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool, I guess.
I mean, he knows motion capture, so maybe the characters will look really cool.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he's a talented person, so
I liked Venom 1, and I know that's definitely not the majority of people's view.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that movie. I had my popcorn, I had my soda, and I just laughed the whole time at the insanity. And it made a bunch of money. Granted, I don't know how many of that was like repeat viewings,
mm-hmm.
but I'm excited for more craziness.
Yeah, you know, I do. It's not that I haven't watched because I don't watch it. It's just it's kind of fallen out of kind of the purview to watch. Molo Pet, please, for the love of God, do not delay Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm kind of I don't know. Where do you stand on that, Ralph? Delay again? Like
I mean, maybe. I mean, you want to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Launch it with the Sony.
They're not doing it. Like Sony is like stubbornly, they're not going to stream anything.
So I thought they were.
No, I think the first run stuff they are waiting for the movie theaters. But, I don't know. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Nick Dillinger for Andy's directing career. I hope it's good. That dude has paid his dues. Agreed. You know. Fats, I can't believe how not excited for Venom 2 I am. Looks like the Spawn movie.
Yeah. I get it.
Pop actor is triple vaccinated. He has X-ray powers. Good for you, Pop actor. That's pretty good. I'm only doubly vaccinated, but Sony is smart. I guess so. I guess.
Yeah. Something going wrong with my sound?
Ralph's sound is echoing.
I can hear myself.
You can hear yourself echoing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe jump out and jump back in.
Okay.
I'm not hearing that. I think you have to like complete like Ralph's still in my little waiting area down there. I think you have to like completely leave. Well, actually, no. Let's see if it works. Oh no, he's coming back in. Yes, theaters save from piracy. I guess so. Bye, Ralph. Ralph will be back. You know, to me, again, I don't know. I don't want it to be delayed again. We've been waiting so long. It's been a year and a half. Please. Fett says, does Ralph have a cactus cooler hat? You best believe Ralph has a cactus cooler hat.
All right. How do I sound?
I'm hoping good because I'm not hearing it over here.
Okay, I'm not hearing the echo anymore.
Okay. All right. If you hear an echo, Ralph, you guys let me know and jump out and come back in.
All right.
Pop actor, his X-ray powers worked. Good. All right. So, next step. Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You know, you had it actually. Was it a tweet or was it a Facebook post that you made?
Both.
Internet. Was it both?
Yeah. And
I do want to just share the tweet.
I
know.
Ralph D. Apple.
Yeah, Ralph D.
There I am. No, that's Ralph. Oh, there you go.
And
I tweet a lot, dude. It's scroll down. Oh, you can follow my sister if you want. Oh, I give out bet codes if you want to see if those work.
Here you go.
There it is.
It's so funny. This is actually what I wanted to title the episode today, but it was just too long.
Yeah.
But, so your tweet, I would like to thank the internet for canceling James Gunn long enough for him to make the Suicide Squad. And Ralph, I can't agree with you more. I think I love this movie. I thought it was a blast. I had a really good time.
I'm glad because I heard a lot. I've just based on like Twitter and stuff, I've noticed that a lot of people who saw it streaming didn't like it as much as people who saw it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it in the theater and I loved it. And I was nervous because I know you were watching it at home.
Yep.
And I don't know if it has the same impact.
Well, I think the thing with watching movies at home is it's so much easier to get distracted by your phone or whatever. Yeah. You know, there's shows that I think we watch kind of half-heartedly. It's just kind of on in the background noise and stuff like that. But I think this one was so much so that I was like, I put down the phone. I wanted to see what was going to happen because it was, to me, it opened in such a way that how do you not kind of put your phone down and watch it? Just because the opening sequence was such a, like raw carnage and just kind of set the tone.
Right.
A different movie. This is not any other DC movie that you or Marvel movie that you've seen before. It just hit on a completely different level that I thought was awesome.
So with Suicide Squad, people are going to die, people are going to survive, but you don't know which ones it's going to happen. So I'm just going to let people know, probably best if you haven't seen it, we're going to talk about some spoilers.
Yep.
Because I want to talk about just that opening sequence alone is so great. For years I've been hearing it from people that Nathan Fillion should be Hal Jordan. Nathan Fillion should be the Green Lantern. Nathan Fillion should be this and that and this and that. And in this movie, he's TDK, the detachable kid. I
didn't even realize he was TDK until I was like, wait, Nathan Fillion's in this. Who was Nathan Fillion? I was like, oh, it was TDK? Okay.
And of everything that the internet has suggested Nathan Fillion be, whether it's Nathan Drake from Uncharted, whether it's whatever, this is the comic book character he is. The detachable kid.
And then Flula Borg as the Javelin was amazing.
I was super excited for this. I was super excited for Flula Borg. I like him. He's hilarious. He was just on Conan's podcast. It's a great listen.
That's how I know. I saw him whenever he guests on Conan because it's really funny.
And he was great as the Javelin.
Yeah.
For his 3 scenes. But for me, I feel like the Javelin's wounds weren't as bad as some of the others.
Yeah. So, something, when the first teaser trailer dropped and they kind of show all of the actors, it's like, it's 10,000 people. Here's the IMDb list. It's literally like every MFer in Hollywood is in this movie.
Including Paul McCartney. And who else is over there? No, I was looking at the right side.
Okay. Oh, that's over here. Yeah. And so it's just like, God, how is this going to work? Well, really, 2 minutes into the movie, they're like, oh, okay. All right. That makes sense now. You kind of.
So, yeah, a lot of these people that we saw from the trailer were part of a diversion team that was completely expendable. But what's brilliant about James Gunn in those trailers is that, he had Harley in both groups in the trailers. And it was a total misdirect.
Yep.
You never really see all of these characters on screen at the same time.
Yep.
But the way they cut the trailers made you believe that this was a giant team. But when Pete Davidson comes out as Blackguard and he's yelling at the soldiers,
it's like, I got him.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy who informed you that this was going to happen. And then he gets his face shot off.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happens, it's unreal. Mongal grabs a helicopter and just takes out everybody,
and including Captain Boomerang, who is in the first film.
Right.
Michael Rooker as Savant. They kind of just set it up in a way, and just the way he died in the bird pecking his brain. Or whatever. And Joel Kinnaman, Colonel Rick Flag, who's in the first film.
He's
part of that group.
Right.
It was an insane opening sequence that, again, I love it in a movie where that opening sequence just sets the tone. This is, what you're in for, and what you're in for is, one, it's unexpected. You don't know who's going to survive. This is going to be scrappy, and who knows if this thing's going to work out. And
well, that's the best thing about Captain Boomerang is he's from the first movie, and if he goes, that means anybody on the B squad, can go at any time. And as the movie goes, you kind of become more and more attached to these characters, and then you're like, oh, now I don't want any of these guys to die.
Exactly.
Even Peacemaker, who's a complete a-hole.
Luckily Peacemaker is getting his own TV show. So
and James Gunn's behind it.
Yep, James Gunn's writing, I think, every episode and directing like half of them or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. So it's cool that, you know, the second Warner Brothers signed him on to do this movie, I think Disney was like, all right, we'll take you back. So it's kind of cool. He gets to keep living in both worlds, which is
right.
Pretty badass.
Right. I mean, I know he's going to do Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Do you see him doing a Guardians 4? Do you think he's going to wrap it up and come play at DC? I mean, DC, you can tell they let him just do whatever he wanted.
Yep. But I think that's what him using all of these really just D-level comic book.
Well, I heard what he did was when he started Suicide Squad, he did a Google search for the stupidest DC characters. Like literally typed in, what are the stupidest DC characters? And that's great because you know they're all expendable.
Yep.
I had assumed Polka Dot Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the trailer, he says that he wants to die.
Yeah.
And so I just assumed, he's going to be the one that actually makes it through this whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
But Polka Dot Man is probably one of the dumbest characters.
Yep.
And he looks awesome. I like his outfit. I like his powers. I think he's cool.
Yeah.
And he's definitely one of the more sympathetic characters.
Yep. 100%. Like a really, you know, there's a few characters in the film that, you know, steal the show. And I think Polka Dot Man, the actor has been around for a while. He's kind of
Desmalchin. David Desmalchin. There he is, right at the top.
Oh, there we go. Polka Dot Man. He actually, the last time we were at Comic-Con, he stayed at our hotel, and I think he was there with Steve Agee. It was Steve Agee and David, and maybe they were there for Suicide Squad, probably. Anyways, they were hanging out at our pool when we were out there with the kids. Nice guys. But anyway, so
Ratcatcher 2.
Oh my God! Like and then you know, seeing Taika Waititi is going to be in the film.
Yeah,
and such again, rats are gross. I'm not afraid of them or anything, but I'll put out mouse traps. I don't care. Kill them. I don't need them around. But it was such a moving. Again, just it was a little. He didn't need much time, but this is something this movie did really well. Is where you have a bunch of characters, a lot of them new that you have no kind of preconceived attachments to, and he was able to very quickly make you attach to the characters, understand their backstory, understand what drives them, and then feel an emotional impact when they have those moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's where this movie succeeds, because I think Ratcatcher 2 is a perfect example of that, where, and it's even, rats are gross. And even with all of that, you actually kind of felt that moment when she kind of sends all the rats against Starro and had the flashback with her father. And it's just a really moving, beautiful sequence.
And she asks him why rats, and he just says, because they're the kind of the lowlifes of the world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the Suicide Squad is. They're the lowlifes. They're completely expendable. Amanda Waller can just kill them anytime. She has no sympathy for these characters at all.
Yeah.
But these are the guys that are like the boots on the ground, and they spend time with each other and come together.
Yep.
And when, spoiler still, when Peacemaker kills Flag,
yep,
like it's for sure death.
Yep.
He's not getting
it jabbed in his heart, you know?
Yeah. You see him get stabbed in the heart, and Rick Flag tells Peacemaker, "You're a joke."
Mm-hmm.
And then even John Cena, you could see it break his heart, and like maybe this Peacemaker persona is going too far. Mm-hmm. Maybe he should be thinking of the country instead of orders. It sounds like I'm sure he's gonna like struggling with it. It's kind of like the Falcon and Winter Soldier storyline with, what is it, American Patriot?
Walker. Yeah, U.S. Patriot.
Where it's like U.S. Patriot. So like his whole thing of doing duty versus doing what's right. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now that we know that the Peacemaker show will be a sequel to this, he might be struggling with that. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be kind of cool, and it's going to be a little woke with the message of being a patriot.
Don't say the W word.
But it'll be fun to see that, but John Cena, you know what I mean? Like it'll be
absolutely. John Cena was incredible in this. Just
right.
He has this way about him. It's kind of like The Rock. He has a lane. It doesn't have too many layers. It doesn't go too many different ways, but he knows what his strong suits are as an actor, and he nails it. And
it's a
movie.
Big props to James Gunn for knowing that John Cena would fill this role perfectly. Yes. In Fast 9, which came out a couple months ago, I didn't really care for his character. I think he was completely wrong for that character. And you could kind of see it in the performance. Like he feels sort of wooden, like he's trying to be a bad guy. I think this is the exact perfect role for him.
Yep.
And I love it. I think Idris Elba, aka Knuckles. Did you hear about that?
No. What happened? What?
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Idris Elba is playing Knuckles.
What? He's playing Knuckles?
Yeah.
Yes.
He tweeted it. He tweeted out, the tweet just said knock knock, and it was Knuckles' fist. It was just Knuckles' fist.
Amazing.
And he hashtagged it Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I am here for it. US Patriot, thank you, Space Cowboy. Not US Patriot. That's on me. Idris Elba is great in this film. Again, loved his story. And then just the moment of his daughter seeing him save the day on the TV. Again, he didn't spend that much time on his backstory. Right. Maybe 5 minutes total. And it worked. And, I think you have a good point there about the casting as well. Just like really good casting. And a polka dot man at heart of this movie. One of the hearts of the movie. Darth thought the mom vision was a bit weird though, but it worked. It just kind of made sense when he told his story of how he became Polka Dot Man. It all clicked. It all made sense.
I think that's definitely part of the James Gunn weirdness. Like if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen many James Gunn movies outside of Guardians.
Not a one.
Okay, so he started with trauma movies. He directed and wrote a movie called Tromeo and Juliet.
Okay.
He wrote the Dawn of the Dead.
Toxic
Avenger.
Avengers, yeah.
And there's apparently some footage of Toxic Avenger in this movie because I saw it in the credits. And then Lloyd Kaufman, the creator of Troma, shows up in all of his movies. He was in the background during the club scene in this movie. But Troma is really built on shock factor. Yeah. And back when he was with Troma and he was that James Gunn, that's when he did the tweets that got him in trouble down the road. But then he went on to he wrote Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one.
Yep.
He wrote the two Scooby-Doo movies. Classic. And then I think his first directing job was Slither. I don't know if you've seen Slither.
I know of it.
Michael Rooker, Amanda, Banks. What's her name? It's not Amanda Banks. Anyway, and then he did a movie called Super with Rainn Wilson.
Yep.
Have you seen Super?
I know. Again, I haven't seen any, but I do know.
Okay. Super is gnarly. Super is about a vigilante, one of these like sort of small town vigilantes that dresses up and walks around at night. But it's Rainn Wilson who's got issues, but he walks around with a wrench and he just beats people with it. So James Gunn can be pretty rough. The fact that he got the Guardians job in the first place is baffling to me. I don't know how he got that Disney Marvel thing, but they still feel like James Gunn.
Yep.
But this is more of what James Gunn does outside of Guardians.
Yep, exactly. It's like you saw he was able to be kind of comfortable with it. And maybe no more true of that is in Nick Gilliger's favorite scene is also one of my favorite scenes. The scene that made me laugh the hardest was the infiltrating the rebel camp to save Rick Flag. That was a brilliant way to undercut expectations. Wow, what a what a reveal, just like they're coming in, they're just killing everybody, just like with, and it's kind of between Peacemaker and I'm thinking Idris Elba's character, Death Match or something like that. Death Watch.
I'm going to say the wrong thing.
It's Death Watch.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Maybe. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure.
It was that, and they're just killing people in the craziest ways possible, right?
And gloating about it.
Yes.
Just gloating about, and like not even straight up kills. Like there's a dude in a bathtub.
Yes.
And he shoots the fan into the bathtub, and it's like that dude suffers.
Yeah. It's the fan goes in, where it lands, electrocutes him, and probably chops up his manhood there, and like, and as a watching it, it's going to be a bit of a campy gore romp, right? And so I'm like, oh god, that's so awful, and then you find out they're the good guys, and you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
It was so wrong, but so funny, and oh my god, so hilarious, so hilarious. Anyway,
and then let me just say a couple more things. King Shark, awesome.
Oh yes,
Sylvester Stallone, great,
awesome.
And this is my favorite performance by Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Her storyline was great,
like amazing.
Yeah.
You didn't even need a second of the Joker in it to still see or the impact that's had on her and how she's away from him now, and somebody that's out of an abusive relationship, and when she kills the president, like I was like, oh crap, like it's just, but it all made sense. It all made sense in the context. It made sense with her character. And go ahead.
I love that she shoots him first.
Yes.
And then plays back her entire conversation that was going on in her head the whole time he was talking.
Yeah.
Like that was great.
Yeah.
And Echo Chamber, sorry. It's we both love the movie. I don't know what else.
And then, but so she had those moments, which I thought were amazing, just like great character moments. And then she had her own hallway scene, so to speak, where she kind of takes out the guards in amazing fashion. She gets the javelin, which is awesome. And then once, I give Colleen credit, once Starro kind of comes out, she's like, oh, that's what the javelin's for. She's going to use the javelin to kill Starro. I was like, of course, so it's just so, it's something they set up in the first two of the movie. It's just so freaking cool. I love Margot Robbie's turn. I agree. This is her best take at Harley Quinn. I think she's done a great job the whole time, but this is her level of Harley Quinn. 100%.
Agree.
Let's see. Riley Bob, not gonna lie, still have a soft spot to want to see the Ayer cut of the original Suicide Squad.
Sure.
The Leto, Margot, Joker, Harley movie. I did, I'm on the camp that I didn't hate Suicide Squad. I thought there was
didn't either.
Some fun parts in it. I think it ended kind of like a lot of cliches comic movies do, with a beam in the sky kind of thing, hole in the sky deal. But
and I do like that James Gunn kept some of the characters. He could have gone completely new.
Yep.
Obviously, we're going to get Harley again because that's what people expect. But I like that Rick Flag stuck around. Amanda Waller.
Yep.
Like he didn't completely sweep the other one under the rug.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. I feel like.
How about Viola Davis's like taking
Amanda Waller?
Another level of just somebody kill her. Like she's just awful. Like the most, like just again, great credit to great acting, credit to great writing, where the most like the perfect representation of like government bureaucracy or just too much oversight and too much power, and then it's just like first movie is like, oh, okay, I kind of get where she's coming from, she's tough but she's got a job to do or whatever, and this one is like, oh no, you're just a bad person. Like you have stuck to your ideals so much, similar to Peacemaker, that you're just a bad person. You're not good anymore. You may have justified it to yourself, but you're not a good person anymore. And and then her team kind of turning against her. That was really moving, really moving.
Starscream says in the chat, yeah, where was Toxie? Was there a pic of him or something I missed? I just noticed it in the credits. It said thanks to or footage provided by Trauma, copyright, whatever. And it said the Toxic Avenger. So I'm not sure. I'd have to check it out.
What about James Gunn's most scariest movies, live action Scooby-Doo?
I mean, he wrote them. He didn't direct them. You know.
Margot's foot stunt, though, what is that?
When she went upside down and unlocked the key with her foot. Apparently, she did that.
In like IRL? In real life?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Toxic Avenger was just on a TV in the movie. But
do you know where? I want to. I've seen Toxic Avenger, but for some reason I want to see it in a movie.
You haven't lived.
I need to watch this movie again. I really enjoyed it.
I really dug it as well. And it's a tight. It's like, what is it? 2 hours? It's a tight 2 hours. It's not. Yeah. It doesn't
something like that.
So again, that's to me like, wow, you had an ensemble cast movie with, these are the, Peacemaker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 essentially main, and Margot Robbie, 7 main characters, and go ahead.
And you introduce the Thinker and Starro, and you still have Amanda Waller, and it's like you look at this insane cast, and he pulled this off in 2 hours.
2 hours.
Even though I liked Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, it shouldn't take twice as long to do a Justice League story.
Yeah, this is like if you're in film school and you're like, I need 10 hours to get, like, no, it did it in 2 hours.
Right.
And it did not lag, but it also did not cut corners. It did it all. It did it all, which is so impressive. And then you have a climax with Starro, which is an absurd character and another absurd DC character. But I'm so happy that Starro got to be the big bad, a kaiju, like as referenced in the movie. I'm sure you got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
And getting to see Starro be like full on Starro the Conqueror, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me like, I'm hoping after Guardians 3, he comes back and does more with DC, but I don't know if I want Suicide Squad. I want to see him tackle something
different. Or
Green Lantern? No, because that I want JJ to do, or Travis Knight. I wanted to do it, because I feel like Green Lantern can only be better than what's come before. And I think someone mentioned something online about him wanting to do the Superman with Michael B. Jordan or something.
I think it's, JJ wants to do the Michael.
It's just going to be compared to Donner. It's going to be compared to Bryan Singer and Zack Snyder. The Green Lantern. Make it your own thing. It's Star Wars and superheroes all in one.
What about Lobo, Darthurian? Lobo, that's a good suggestion for James Gunn.
For James Gunn, yeah, that'd be great. Who to get as Lobo? I don't know, but it would be perfect casting, I'm sure.
Yeah, my pick would be the person that's already playing Aquaman. But
I think I'm coming in again.
Oh, you are? All right. Just drop out and drop back in.
All right.
While I do that, I'll read this question. What's the future of DC hold for the tone with this, and the Batman seeming completely different, darker tone next? Plus, what will Flash be? Or if Snyderverse comes back around. See, I think that is kind of the neat thing about what DC is doing, is that they've kind of they tried a bit at trying to do the big, extended universe thing. and they still have it to a certain extent. But instead of, 30 movies telling one interconnected story, they're allowing these kind of one-off movies or movies to kind of exist within themselves. And maybe they connect a little bit to other DC movies, but on the whole, they're kind of they can be their own thing. And I think that's what's really neat about the Suicide Squad and what James Gunn did with Suicide Squad, and what we'll probably see with the Batman, is that you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a 30-part saga. It can just kind of be its own thing. And I do really, it's kind of like DC's getting a sense of itself and how it can do its own thing, be true to itself, be different, but still make good movies. Ralph, what's your...
My thoughts are what I was saying with What If is that I like that it's going to be an anthology series. It's going to be one shots. I say go get a bunch of directors that are really good, that have a unique voice, give them any project they want, and just leave them alone. If Zack Snyder wants to make a 4-hour Justice League movie, let him. It's much better than them stepping in and messing up with it. If David Ayer wants to make his Suicide Squad movie, let him. But don't come in and try to recut it into a music video. Just let him do what he does. Have you seen Shazam yet? You've seen Shazam, right?
Oh yeah, I love Shazam.
David Sandberg, great job, awesome movie. Just I think Warner Brothers didn't think anything of the property and just let him go shoot that movie, and it turned out great.
Yep.
They don't have to all be part of this big continuity. Marvel's doing great with that. Marvel's awesome with doing that. What DC needs to do is just make individual awesome movies with characters that you love or characters that you're going to fall in love with. I'm not the biggest fan of another Batman, but I'm excited for the next one because I like the director and he clearly has a new unique take on it. So is that Matt Reeves? Let him go. Let him do it. The whole thing with comic books is, for years, different writers, different artists have had their own takes on these superheroes. They've all done their own stories. They don't necessarily need to be in the same continuity. Like, Frank Miller went and did the Dark Knight Returns. That wasn't in any sort of continuity. It was its own story.
And it's amazing.
It's what comics is great at, is showcasing talent. So James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is the perfect example, a translation of what happens in comic books. They have a very specific voice on how to handle those characters. Just leave them be. Let them do it. Don't worry about the overall continuity. Nobody cares. It works for Marvel. Doesn't need to work for DC. And just keep making movies like Shazam, Suicide Squad, or The Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey. Just push the envelope. It doesn't have to be a clone of Marvel. You're not going to outdo Marvel, especially 14 years in.
Exactly. And I know I even felt the same way that Starscream has felt, where DC screwed themselves by trying to do the opposite of Marvel. They should have built up their solo movies first and earned the big ensemble movie. But it's kind of like they started too late. While Iron Man was coming out, Iron Man came out the same year as The Dark Knight, I believe, didn't it? Right. So they were already having huge. DC was top of the pops. The King of the Mountain with their kind of one-off, Dark Knight trilogy. That was the biggest thing since sliced bread. And then you had this up-and-comer Marvel thing with Iron Man, and then a couple years later, then you had Avengers by 2012 was Avengers?
Maybe. I know that 2011 was Green Lantern and Thor. Thor 1.
So then I think 2012 was the Avengers. So by the time you have the next Nolan Batman movie between Iron Man and Dark Knight, and then you had the Dark Knight Rises, and then you had the Avengers by the time they completed that Batman trilogy. And I know they had done a couple other DC movies like Man of Steel and stuff, but they just, they by that point they had already lost the ability to probably do what Marvel did and kind of build up the movies and
right. But I think I'm hoping now they learn from this, and this is the way to do it. You're not going to build the the huge overarching canon franchise, one big DCEU, but make another Suicide Squad, make another Shazam. If you can have a movie where everybody falls in love with Polka Dot Man, you can do a decent Green Lantern. Agreed. You can do. They're working on Flash. Flash is going to be exciting. I know it's dipping back into the past, but it's stuff we like. It's not going to be George Clooney.
Keaton Bats.
It's not going to be, well, it's not going to be like the Bryan Singer Superman stuff. It's not going to be. It's going to be the good stuff that we like. And I'm hoping that WB just lets it happen.
Yep.
Let the director do their thing, and one shots. That's all I want from DC, or one shots.
And the ones they've done like that have been great. Nick Dillinger's thoughts: having an auteur director do Black Knight, Brightest Day would be a bucket list movie for me. Do you agree with that, Ralph?
I don't know who. I mean, I said JJ just because I know he'll command respect from the studio and they'll let him do his thing. I know people aren't keen.
I love JJ. Don't get me wrong. I love him. But he just doesn't seem to have. He hasn't done a film where, like a James Gunn, where it has like the whole picture under his influence. He's much more of a visionary. He loves his mystery box stuff, but I don't think he's quite nailed telling a complete story yet.
I would say Super 8.
But even Super 8, I love the movie, but it didn't like the back half of that movie just didn't land for me. Like his problem always has been is he's great at setting up the mystery, but he never nails the reveal or and Super 8 as well. Like the whole ending just didn't land for me personally. So that's where I would have concerns with JJ doing that. He would have to have, I think, a really good where he's been when JJ's at his best. He has an amazing writing crew that's giving him like an amazing script to work with. Hey, Ralph, you're going to do it. Okay. All right.
All right. If not him, Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Now, Bumblebee was awesome. He also directed a movie called... What's that?
Another great John Cena flick.
Yes. He also did a movie called Kubo and the Two Strings.
Ah, yes.
Have you seen that? That movie is fantastic.
Yep. Riley Bob. Plus, after Star Wars, I lost all trust in JJ doing a studio-ish movie without being a studio puppet. I don't know.
That's the thing that's tough is I feel like Lucasfilm might be more difficult to work with. Could be me. I don't know.
Yeah, he had the impossible task. He had no desire to do it. He left. He wanted to be like, I did my thing. I set it up. Somebody else take it from there. He was set up to fail. There was no way he was going to be able to land that plane. I still like it. I know you like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't like it at all. Because I love it. Barely. It's the only Star Wars movie I have only seen once.
Some echo chamber you turned out to be.
I know. And but here, I love Last Jedi. I loved Last Jedi. And people hate that movie. I freaking love it.
I'm literally split right down the middle on it.
I'm like, loved it. I walked out of there like, awesome. It's changed it up. It's doing something different. I loved that Rey was nobody. I love the and again, I get the casino world, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I really dug it. And then to me, Rise of Skywalker was just such a jumbled mess that there was moments I loved watching it, but by the time I left, I was just like, I actually did. It's the first Star Wars movie that I left going, I didn't like it. I'm not going to go see it again in theaters. I usually see Star Wars movies in theaters like 10 times. That was the only one I ever saw once, and that's still the only time I've seen that movie.
Maybe revisit.
Maybe I will.
Maybe.
but it's just being such a Star Wars fan, and again seeing all of the films in the theaters multiple times. I don't know why, it's just the only one that just kind of like didn't dig it. But again, I was a big Last Jedi fan, and that movie was made to kind of counteract everything in Last Jedi. So that's why I don't think it landed for me.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're getting a K2SO series. We're getting the
Andor.
Yeah, the Andor show, which I believe is already done.
Probably. I think Book of Boba Fett's next, and then
I'm sure
Andor.
My love of The Last Jedi has already gotten 7 dislikes, but alas, see, Ralph and I don't agree on everything. There you go. There it is right there. All right. Well, I think that is where we'll call it today, but I did want to at least make a mention of a dear friend of Ralph and I's that passed away this past week, Jen Ozawa, a legendary podcaster, lost podcaster of The Transmission, passed away a week ago, and just wanted to just say that, loved her, one of the most kindest, amazing people ever. We've been friends for 16 years. The Ozawas are the first friends I made podcasting in October of 2005. And
their podcast, The Transmission, is the first podcast I'd ever listened to.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely wouldn't know you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And, when I started my show, they were already pretty, they were like the number one. And I was a 20-year-old kid. And like, I sent them an email just saying, hey, we started a show too. And just being such sweet human beings. They immediately were like, oh yeah, you should do, and just like being friends, giving me advice, teaching me all this different stuff. And just really good human beings, and losing someone like that in this world really sucks. And cancer sucks. And so just wanted to give a shout out to Jen. You are loved and you are missed. And to the rest of the Ozawa family, we've got your back, and anything we can do for you, we will do. So, saying maybe it was Delta Park. Anyway, on that somber note, Ralph, did you watch the Field of Dreams game at all before this? No, I did. It was really cool.
That's pretty close to you, right?
Field of Dreams? No, it's in Iowa.
Oh, wait. I'm thinking of Durham.
Oh, you're thinking of Bull Durham.
Yeah. All right.
That is close to me. That's like 20 minutes.
Is Iowa close to you? I have no idea.
You've been here. You've been in my house.
Yeah, but I didn't like walk there. I don't know the United States at all.
Iowa's is Midwest, so that's kind of middle of the country. I live on the coast of the country. You live on the west coast of the country.
Right.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, I think that's as good a place as any to call this one. So thank you again for everybody hanging out with us here on Screen Geeks. We love all things TV and film, and it was really fun to talk about What If and Suicide Squad. James Gunn, bravo. A 2-hour movie with 17 billion characters where you cared about every single one, and it was still a good action movie. Bravo.
Except TDK. No one cares about TDK.
And that's what they intended.
Come on, JJ. We can do it together.
Hit that like button and click subscribe and that bell icon to be notified when the latest episode of Geek Dad Life drops. Until next time, hasta luego and goodbye.